Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Wendy Sellers, the HR lady, here with my co-host JC. Hey JC.
Ms. Wendy, it's a pleasure to see you again and to hear you. And to get the show back on the road.
Oh my goodness, it has been a crazy, crazy year already. We're into February and it's continuing to be just as crazy, especially for HR people, really anyone in business and ops. But we are here today with Fractional People Partner, co-founder and CEO of Peak HR. Welcome to the show, Morgan Williams.
Hello, happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Hey, I want to talk today with our listeners and hear from you about, leadership in general and some lessons that maybe you have learned in your life and your experience in human resources and now as a CEO and co-founder. We're going to get into a little bit after some introductions about best-in-class employee life cycles that ensure inclusivity and creativeness. I can't even speak. Maybe I need more water. So Morgan, tell our listeners just about yourself and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, to keep it very short, I wasn't trying to be in HR at all. And I think that that's the best way to start. I was always really interested in the psychology aspect. I really wanted to be a psychiatrist. That how you think. I have a sister. She's just shy of 5 years older than me. And we are complete opposites. And it's so intriguing to me because we have the same parents, raised around the same environment. And that just really got me thinking how different people are. So I was totally into that. Wanted to, I've always been an eager beaver, overachiever, got to the point, graduated school, it's time for med school. And I'm like, I'm tapped out. I'm tired. Like, what do you do now? And that was a really pivotal moment. Talked to a mentor and they were basically saying, hey, go ahead and use your skills and you can use the psychology portion in HR. And I didn't know anything about HR. I was like, HR is a place where they hire and fire people. That's not what I was looking to do. I was trying to make an impact, not, impact the bottom line. And I just became on this really fascinating journey through HR, through her, really. She told me about talent acquisition and just getting into places. And that's really where everything started for me. And then just constantly keeping that curiosity, treating my career like a rotational program, just getting into all the other areas just really made me decide, okay, these are the things I really like, industry, sector, and, kind of how I want to work.
I love it. That we have so much in common already because the same exact thing with me. I had absolutely no intentions of getting into HR. At that point in my life, I probably never in college, I didn't even know what HR was. I too was going for medical, but for animals. So I originally was going to be a veterinarian and then I had to dissect a fetal pig and I was like, nope, I'm out. So then I was like, well, maybe I could do something with humans and medical and went for physician's assistant and realized, whoa, these people are way smarter than me, medically speaking. There's no way I'm going to get approved for this program. And then got a degree in healthcare administration because it stayed in the same line, but randomly ended up in HR and said, all right, I guess I'll go back and get a few more degrees and figure it out. And here I am, the HR lady. So this goes to just show our listeners, listen, you could do whatever you want, but sometimes life throws you curveballs and hopefully what you're actually good at will line up with what your career will be. We talked about that yesterday, or JC and I recorded yesterday with another podcast host, guest as well. So tune into our previous show. Well, that brings a big circle here about, where you've been. How the heck did you end up owning an HR consulting firm?
Yeah, I think there were a few levels to this. First started in talent acquisition, really, one of the themes that you'll kind of pick up on my conversation is I had really great managers, and that's what really changed everything for me, the way that I practice, the type of HR that I did, and where I could be really impactful. My first day, she asked me, what did I want to do next? I actually knew because at the time, I didn't really want to do talent acquisition. It's the way that my mentor told me I can get in here and be impactful. Fell in love with some of the things about it, especially college recruitment. And But from that day, my manager had set me up with a mentor in the company to already start teaching me. At that time, it was employee relations. And so that's why I was like, wow, this is really, encouraging to hear a manager ask me what I wanted to do next. I was terrified to answer her. But I was like, hey, if you ask a question, you better be prepared for the answer. And that's something that I stick with. And so I answered. I'm very happy that I did, because I don't know if I would have had that mentor if I didn't answer that question, honestly. And she worked with me from that day. After that, left and went to the Postal Service. And everybody's like, how did you go from tech to the Postal Service? That we will get to in one of the episodes later.
All right. Well, it sounds like, I don't even want to say it was a challenge, but starting in HR and then not realizing what you wanted to focus on, that was a challenge that you faced. And this person who set you up was teaching you about leadership. And how did you, take that upon yourself and spread it on to the next levels as well?
Oh, yeah. That's something I've never forgot. On top of that, whenever I've led or managed people, that's something I always ask too. And I tell them to be honest about it to me. I'm here to help them. I also am very honest about it as well, of what can I give you insight into before you make this leap or whatever. And if you want to leave, let me know. I can work with you, because in my past, I've had managers that literally would sit down. We would have a meeting booked literally every day, me looking for jobs. That's how supportive they were. And so I really have had great managers that have been super supportive, and they understand you're not going to be somewhere forever. And so instead of trying to hold that back, I might as well encourage you. And it built a relationship that's completely life-changing for me. And I wouldn't have had that type of leadership or management style if somebody hadn't done that for me. So it was integral. Very scary at first, but integral. And I also learned how to talk about that fear of, don't be scared. I'm not going to kick you to another department or any of this. This is actually how I can help you. So life-changing, truly.
A study by the Leadership and Organization Development Journal found that transformational leadership, it can actually lead to a 22% increase in employee performance. And that's highlighting the effectiveness of this leadership style across businesses of all size. Back to you.
Yeah, that sounds exactly what you were going through, is transformational leadership, of saying, okay, we're going to transform you into what you want to be, assuming you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities at that time to do that. So thank you so much, JC, for the radio voice and the statistics. In our next episode, we're going to cover the HR toolkit, building a people-first approach, which sounds like our guest, Morgan Williams, is right on top of. Interesting. If you are interested in learning more about being an operational manager, whether you're in HR or not, so moving from an operational manager, I should say, to a strategic leader, Aurora Training Advantage has a live webinar coming up on March 13th. And if you miss it, you can also watch it on their recorded version. So check that out at auroratrainingadvantage.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.